And we welcome you to Atlanta, Georgia. This is the Phillips Arena in downtown Atlanta, where tonight on TNT it'll be Game 2 of the Eastern Conference first round best of 7. The Miami Heat against the Atlanta Hawks with a resounding 26-point victory in game number 1, trying to make it 2 in a row at home against the Miami Heat. It had to go back to the drawing board after game 1. And right now, let's check out our McDonald's starting lineups. The Heat with the same group that started game 1, including James Jones at small forward. Dwayne Wade had only 19 points, turned it over 8 times. And for the Atlanta Hawks, the same starting 5, and all 5 scored in double figures in the game. And we welcome you to courtside, everybody. I'm Dick Stockton along with the Czar, Mike Fratello. Cheryl Miller is here as well. And if you look at the Heat trying to get back into it, where do they start, Mike?
It all started Monday with a very long Monday, starting with a hour and 45-minute film session, then to the court for a walkthrough on all the offensive and defensive breakdowns from game number 1, then a lot of shooting and individual work after that. About a 5.5-hour day for Miami.
So they didn't make much of their day off as far as getting some rest. Right now, let's take a look at the game strategy, Mike, presented by World of Warcraft.
Well, if you're going to list the things that Miami has to get done to give themselves a chance to win, it starts with turnovers. During the year, they were 3rd best in the NBA, averaging just over 12 a game. Well, they had 19 in game number 1, which led to 22 points for Atlanta. The tempo of the game was no good. It was too fast. They were trying to play for 110 points. Remember, they just scored about 97, 98 during the regular season, so they need to run more time off the clock, control it more, run more set plays. And the last thing is, when you do those, possession of the ball, run time down, play low 90s, Wade gets 30, they got a chance to win.
And as we get ready, there is Spirit the Hawk. And we know that the Hawks will have a lot of spirit in their tremendous over-the-rim victory. The officials tonight, Dan Crawford, Ken Maurer, and Jason Phillips. And we're underway with Jermaine O'Neal, jumping center, against Josh Smith, who had 23 points and was the leading scorer for the Hawks. Tip controlled by the Heat.
And we'll see what Miami's going to do immediately. Remember, Jermaine O'Neal not happy with only 5 field goal attempts in his 21.5 minutes of play. And here they go, down low on the inside right away for O'Neal to get off. And follow-up tip in by Chalmers on the glass.
The Heat took the 2-0 lead on a slam by Dwayne Wade. And then it was all Atlanta, leading by as many as 27 in game number 1. And there you see Wade guarding Joe Johnson, and we'll see Wade on Joe Johnson a lot more tonight than we did in game number 1. And a defensive 3-second violation called against the Hawks, or the Heat, and so there'll be a free throw and possession out of bounds.
I think that was James Jones that got caught down under the rim in the paint. And as you mentioned just now, Dick, that's an adjustment right there, seeing Dwayne Wade come out and start the game trying to play Joe Johnson. Last time it was Jones that was the sacrificial lamb, and he just could not keep Joe Johnson in front of him, so Wade has the assignment tonight.
Eric Spoelstra, the Heat coach, said, "We will be more poised, we guarantee that," as Johnson goes in and is fouled. And the foul is against Dwayne Wade as the cheers come up from the Phillips Arena crowd as Wade picks up his first foul.
And that's just, you saw Eric Spoelstra right there trying to yell out switch, switch to get Wade off of Joe Johnson. Be concerned now. Quick early foul on him is not good for Miami.
Johnson losing the ball momentarily, and does. O'Neal picks it up. Wade has it on the turnover. Hawks double team him immediately. In game number 1, the Heat strategy was to open up and spread the defense and try to get threes. They may try to get it a lot more inside this time. And now an offensive foul called against Miami, so they give it right back, and that'll be against Udonis Haslem.
Trying to get into a set play. There's a turnover now. First time down the floor where they go into one of their set play calls that a screen winds up being a turnover.
Hawks winning game 1. It was their first best-of-7 series, first game win since 1970. Josh Smith working against Haslem. O'Neal getting the rebound. O'Neal saying he wants to be more of the offense. Took only 5 shots and scored 5 points. He'll get his opportunity today, and another Miami offensive foul, and this one is against O'Neal. So Wade, O'Neal, and Haslam all have picked up early fouls.
And that's because the screener on the move like that cannot hit the defender. That's where the foul is called. So you see Miami digging themselves a little hole early on just with their offensive execution.
Nearly 2 minutes gone by in the opening game. Johnson and Wade fight through the screen. The double team. Josh Smith with the follow-up. Ball knocked away, but Smith followed up. He had 5 dunks as part of his 23-point, 10-rebound effort in game number 1. Horford defending against O'Neal outside. Now O'Neal getting in on the pick and roll. Nowhere to go up to the basket. Jones to O'Neal. And it goes over again to Miami, or to the Atlanta Hawks. Miami struggling early on. Oh, it's only 3-2, but the 3 fouls have hurt.
And you see Smith able to get up above the defender who had cut him off, which was James Jones. He just jumps a little bit higher. That's how he regained possession of that.
Spirit the Falcon now has moved to the backboard stanchion. The #1 Hawk fan. Here is Williams missing from outside. Marvin Williams scoring 7 first-quarter points in game 1 to pace the Hawks. And out of bounds. Mario Chalmers, of course, with the injured ankle, didn't practice yesterday, as Mike pointed out. His ankle has been taped, not wearing a brace. And for Udonis Haslam, the stitches are out on his lacerated thumb.
And they just stopped play here because the Hawk is now circling around the arena and decided to land up on top of our camera.
Likes a lot of FaceTime, apparently, does Spirit the Hawk. Here is Jones hitting a 3-point field goal, and that's why Eric Spoelstra wanted him in the lineup. Started only 1 game in the regular season and had 9 points in game 1. So the 3-point field goal giving the Heat a 5-3 lead.
And that's why Jamario Moon lost his starting spot, which he held most of the time since he arrived in Miami. You see the strip and the swipe and players down on the floor. There'll be a jump ball call because Jones can spread the defense out. And he has to make shots from the perimeter to allow O'Neal and Dwayne Wade to be effective. You see him behind the 3-point line. He knows he's a terrific shooter. He has really struggled with a bad wrist this season, missed the first 3 months. He's finally back.
The Miami Heat average 82 points against the Atlanta Hawks in the regular season. And there is the Hawk, and he's the 6th man, no question about it, and the officials would like him to depart the premises.
Well, Dick, who do you think should go up there and talk to him?
Somebody who knows his language, I would think.
There's only one guy who could probably jump up there and talk to him. That's Josh Smith.
And by the way, the Heat scoring 64 points in that game #1 was their playoff low in their history. And the problem is that the Hawk could fly into play when action is going on, and that could result in a serious injury of some sort.
You know, how about if we see the handler come out? There we go. Get him out of here. I mean, how about the bird happens to be flying across and you're throwing a long pass down the court?
That's the idea. So the handler getting the Hawk out of there, and not happy with flying around in the pregame, wanted to get into the action during the game as well. Tip controlled. Dwayne Wade has it, but there you see Horford and Johnson on him. In and out for Wade, and Horford getting the rebound. Heat leading by 2. Nearly 4 minutes gone by, first quarter. Trap on Johnson. Plenty of time on the clock for Atlanta, and the second defensive 3-second violation called on the Heat in this first quarter.
I think it may have been Jones once again that got caught in the lane. By the way, the Hawk is very unhappy right now that he was put in the box. He said he's a prime-time Hawk. So,
well, he got a little bit into prime time.
He got a lot of prime time.
So the free throw is missed. Score remains 5-3, and Joe Johnson will inbound. They're doubling Johnson every time he touches the ball. Bibby to Marvin Williams. The three-point attempt doesn't go, but saving it is Josh Smith nicely. Bibby with the three. And O'Neal skies for the rebound. Bibby hit his first three-point attempt for the first points of the game in the first quarter the other night, and then hit the first basket in the second half. A three. Jones is open again and misses the three as Horford clears.
You know, Jermaine O'Neal had 2 rebounds last game in 21 and a half
Steal
minutes.
by Chalmers. Hawks are back though. And if you ask Mike Woodson, he'll say our defensive game plan was played to perfection. This is the pace that the Miami Heat want to use in this game. Haslam from the corner hitting. And it's a 4-point Miami lead.
Going back to O'Neal, he has 3 rebounds already in this game. He had 2 in 21 and a half minutes. So in 4 minutes, he's gotten more done on the boards than he did in game number 1.
Bibby over to Horford with plenty of time now on the clock. The Hawks are 1 for 5 shooting with 3 turnovers, but Josh Smith changes all that. Field goal brings Atlanta to within 2. Nearly 5 minutes gone by in game number 2. Hawks winning the opener by 26. Chalmers, after a fake, goes for 3. And the pass to Johnson down on the other end. Feeding Horford and the foul. And that's what the Hawks will do to you.
Well, what happened is the defender on the shooter ran out. Court balance, someone opposite must cover the backcourt, and there was no one back there. All alone down the other end of the floor. Smith keeps his head up. There's the long outlet pass. No one there to cover for Joe Johnson. A good job of getting the foul before he made the layup.
Horford had 14 points and 9 rebounds in the first game and misses the free throw. Hit 5 of 10 from the field and was perfect from the line. Misses the first here. And
that's why you take those fouls. You don't allow him to make those layups. You have to get their arms down because he saved the point now for his team by Chalmers getting back there.
1 out of 2 for Al Horford. It's a 1-point game. First quarter. Series will shift to Miami for game 3 on Saturday, game 4 on Monday night. Johnson picking up Wade. And the foul is made, and Wade drawing the foul nicely, and this one on Johnson, his first.
Go back here and we'll watch what happens as Wade shows the ball. A little too aggressive. Johnson up in the air. Wade leans in, initiates the contact, awarded the foul call, goes to the line.
Dwayne Wade going to the free throw line, and that's what he must do, and hasn't been able to do it against the Hawks this year, and didn't in game 1 when he was 2 for 4, and he was 11 points below his NBA leading average of 30.2 and the 8 turnovers. But Dwayne Wade has to get to the free throw line and maybe have to challenge the big people inside.
Yeah, he averaged a little over 9 free throw attempts per game during the regular season, Dick, but against Atlanta, only 6 free throw attempts. And in the first game, he only had 4.
Wade doing a good job of challenging Johnson, and Joe Johnson getting in off the rim. So a lot of the shots that dropped for the Hawks early on in game 1, not here. Here's Haslam from Wade, and the block is made by Marvin Williams, and ahead of the field, Joe Johnson with a slam. And that brings the crowd to its feet for the first time tonight, as the Hawks again climb to within 1.
What a spectacular sequence. Defensive play of blocking the shot, the pitch ahead, and the strong finish by Joe Johnson.
And here is Smith on O'Neal. Dwayne Wade penetrating and tripped up as both players hit the floor. It's Williams and Wade. We'll have a timeout. First foul on Williams.
And what looks like a sure layup is blocked right at the rim, and that in turn winds up initiating the fast break, the pitch ahead pass, the strong finish by Joe Johnson.
Miami over Atlanta by 1, and it's time for Gatorade Around the Cooler. Here's Cheryl Miller.
Thanks a lot, Dick. Well, a couple of days ago, I spoke to Coach Woodson and asked him, did he think that his team understood the difference between being confident or overly cocky? He said, I certainly hope so, Cheryl, because I had to make them understand that Dwayne Wade will not have an 8-21 night again. I also spoke to Al Horford, who said that it's absolutely critical that they maintain their edge. He said that it was only game 1 and that this was going to be a game 7 series. Remember, guys, this is the same Atlanta team last year that was the brunt of postseason jokes before taking the Celtics to a game 7. So tonight is either going to be a lesson learned or a lesson wasted.
No question about it, Cheryl, as Chalmers leaves it for Haslam, who misses the shot. Last year, the Hawks lost by 23 points in game 1 against the Celtics. They were down 2-0 and then won their games at home. Eventually lost in 7. Horford committing the foul to the amazement of Mike Woodson, as Maurice Evans is into the game, replacing Williams. And so Joe Johnson moves up to guard now as he's defending James Jones. Under 5.5 to go. And here is Jermaine O'Neal against the double team, beats it with his first points of the game.
You know, going back to what Cheryl had just mentioned, Dick, they were 37-45 at the end of the regular season. They snuck in, and that's why people were saying, like, yeah, this is not going to be any series at all. Then 2 blowouts to start in Boston, but what a rally, what a regrouping by that franchise last year. They've played with great confidence this whole season.
The young players were not afraid of anything, and that's what Eric Spoelstra was saying about his young team. And on the turnover, Chalmers coming back. Here's Wade inside. O'Neal coming in. So Jermaine O'Neal is a first quarter factor here, as he has 4 points and 3 rebounds. And the ball almost knocked away again. Here is Bibby hitting the 3. So the veteran point maker, he's been around a million years, led Sacramento to the playoffs 5 straight years at 1 point. And the Heat lead is 2, and that is the first 3-pointer for the Hawks.
Let's remember in game 1, Mike Bibby, as Wade gets right to the front of the rim, and that didn't happen very often in game number 1. There normally was at least 1 or 2 defenders in front of the rim. But Bibby was very steady in game 1. Only 8 field goal attempts. He had 9 assists. He saw that other guys had it going that night, like Josh Smith.
He read the defense perfectly. Johnson. And the rebound by Haslam. So that basket by Dwayne Wade was his first field goal of the game. And he is guarded now by Evans. And fires the 3 and hits, trying to get into rhythm. And now 7 points for Dwayne Wade. And the second 3 for the Miami Heat, who lead by 7. Bibby guarded by Chalmers, the rookie from Kansas. Johnson picked up by O'Neal. And the foul, Chalmers got a piece of Bibby for the personal.
And that's what happens when a guy makes a 3 on you. You wind up being so attentive to him the next time he touches the ball. You get a little too anxious. Bibby's so smart, shows the ball, you wind up flying into it. But Wade just basically walks right up into that jump shot, sizes up the defender, and tests out the 3-point line early on.
So Chalmers goes to the bench. You see Bibby does too, giving way to Flip Murray. Jamario Moon has come into the game, and Daquan Cook for the Heat. Under 3.5 to go, but Chalmers on the bench with 2 fouls. And there is Johnson driving and scoring. Joe Johnson, now with 5 points, leads the Hawks, trailing by 5. And the pushing foul by Evans in the backcourt on Wade. That's the 4th team foul.
You could see what the strategy is by Atlanta. They take Chalmers out, Wade goes into the backcourt, pick him up full court, and that's where the foul is called. If the player is facing, you cannot put your hands on him when you're guarding.
Wade trying to get around Evans, and Evans committing the blocking foul. So Wade trying to take advantage of his quickness against the veteran Maurice Evans, who picks up 2 fouls, and he came off the bench and has 2. So we have a timeout, just under 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. The Miami Heat trying to even things at 1 apiece, lead the Atlanta Hawks 18-13. Heat are leading by 5, and Wade has 7 points. But Mike, we witnessed Dwayne Wade we rarely see in the first game of this series Sunday.
It was a very frustrated Dwayne Wade in game number 1. Whether he was taking the ball to the basket strong in transition, he had tough defenders on him the entire night, constantly trying to pressure him. They forced him into 8 turnovers, which is so uncharacteristic. He shot just 8 for 21 from the floor, 2 for 4 from the line. But the good way, when he started using different screeners and when he learned to move without the basketball, he found out that he could get some easy scores that way. So we'll look the rest of the night to see if Miami changes up screeners on him, and we'll see if when they take Wade off the ball, if they run him off of a lot of screens, so he's not always handling it against that pressure that we just saw.
And that's what the Heat want to see, and so far they have been able to see him with the final shots that you showed in that last deal, and that was the 15th foul, the one on Evans before we broke for the spot. 1 out of 2 for Dwayne Wade, and Michael Beasley has come into the game. Beasley in his first playoff game had 10 points and 10 rebounds and played 32 minutes of the game. Here's Al Horford inside, and Jamario Moon getting the rebound.
You already see the impact of Jermaine O'Neal in this game. He's been a low post threat. He's been a passer out of the low post, which has led to scores for his teammates, and he's on the glass.
2 assists, 3 rebounds. He's been very animated as Beasley misses from outside, and Horford had position on O'Neal. The lead is 6 for the Miami Heat. They were up as many as 7 as we approach 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Josh Smith from the corner. Josh Smith now with 6.
And that was always the book on Smith. You have to make him take jump shots from the outside. He's not going to make a ton of them. And then you worry about his athleticism, running the floor, his dunks, which you have to take away. But now he has started to make that shot on a more regular basis. He's a tough guard.
Under 2 minutes remaining in the quarter, and there is Wade driving in off the rim, and the offensive rebound by Beasley, and good hustle by Beasley, and an Atlanta foul. And it will be against Josh Smith.
You see the double team down low on O'Neal. O'Neal becomes the passer to Wade, who misses the layup, but the foul is called on Beasley.
Zaza Pachulia has come into the game replacing Al Horford. And Horford going out with just 1 point and 2 rebounds. And there is Pachulia, who also hit in double figures. So there were 6 with 10 or more points for the Hawks in game 1 and 10 rebounds as well. Beasley, however, misses the first attempt.
Remember, Dick, before Horford arrived, Pachulia was a starting center here for many, many basketball games. So this is a strong, tough guy that they have. And he kind of established the tone against the Celtics in that series last year when he went up nose to nose to Kevin Garnett, didn't back off, and they gave some encouragement to the other guys on the team.
He started 12 games with Horford out with injury in his 6th year. So 1 out of 2 from the line, and a 5-point lead for Miami. Only 1:35 remaining in this first quarter. Here is Flip Murray flipping it up, and the rebound by Beasley.
Easy that time for Flip Murray. He just went right past Daquan Cook. Cook has to keep the ball in front of him better.
Beasley going up with it, driving to the basket. You can see the Heat, even though that shot went off the rim, a lot more aggressive, certainly more poised than they were in game 1. Murray had the shot. Wade picked him up in a hurry. Here is Flip Murray. Good pass inside and a slam by Josh Smith. He had 5 of them in game 1 Sunday.
Great assist that time by Murray. He kept the ball alive, the dribble alive, came down the lane. He pulled the next Miami defender. No one there to cut off Smith.
Under a minute. And this crowd on the pick and spot up to O'Neal going in, and the foul is called. Jermaine O'Neal has been the key cog for the Miami Heat, and the reason they have the lead at this juncture, as Pachulia picks up the foul.
See how Murray keeps that dribble alive. He gets down the lane, so the big man has to stop. Wade gets caught on the screen. He can't recover in time. It winds up being an easy 2 for Josh Smith.
Smith with 8 points and 1 personal foul, and O'Neal shooting 2. Want to remind you to log on to NBA.com now for the most extensive playoff coverage and in-depth highlights of tonight's Heat-Hawks matchup, as well as up-to-date scores, stats, and schedules from the postseason. NBA.com, the game happens here.
Dick, for the entire game 1, Miami got to the free throw line just 12 times. This will be free throw number 8 for them in the first quarter already.
You're not surprised that we haven't a different scenario as far as the way the game. That's the way playoff basketball is.
Yeah, you go back after the first game and you erase it off the board. You learn from it. You make some, little adjustments here or there, but it's the players' minds that must come out and be ready to play in the next one.
And another defensive 3-second violation called against the Miami Heat. That's 3, and I don't know when the last time you saw 3 on the same team in one quarter.
That's a good question.
That was on Wade.
You see 1, sometimes 2, but very seldom do you see 3.
It was Dwayne Wade who was in there, and so Joe Johnson with the free throw, and the Hawks will inbound.
I don't mind in a quarter. You don't see 3 in a game usually.
Erik Spoelstra, in his first year, youngest head coach in the NBA at age 38, as the Heat with a 28-game turnaround this year. Under a half a minute remaining. Mario West has checked into the game for the final seconds. Joe Johnson. They converge on him, and Pachulia inside. Loses the ball off of his foot. Plenty of time on the clock. Wade challenging Flip Murray, and the follow-up by Jamario Moon. So the Heat are right there, very active in the second chance opportunities, Mike. Final seconds of this first quarter, and here is Flip Murray going up with it. And that'll do it. And the Miami Heat looking good, at least in this first quarter.
This is a battle on the glass, folks. These two teams are going after the basketball. Miami embarrassed last game, 50-35 on the boards.
Wade has 8, but O'Neal a big factor in the aggressiveness that Mike's talking about. 24-18 Miami after 1. State capital of Georgia here in Atlanta, as we start the second quarter with the Heat leading the Hawks 24-18. And a few moments ago, Cheryl Miller talked with Erik Spoelstra, the Heat's head coach.
Well, Coach, you said before the game it was going to be very important for you guys to come out and compete early, play with urgency. You got to like what you've seen in the first 12 minutes.
And it's a start. It's only one step, so we have to keep it in. We got some rotation guys coming in now. They got to keep it going.
Jermaine O'Neal said that he wanted to be more involved. Just tell me what he's giving you guys in the first 12 minutes.
Well, we got to establish him down low, and he's also got to be big and rebound on the other end.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay.
A big advantage for the Miami Heat. Second chance points. They were outscored by 8 in game 1, but have a 7-0 edge there. So that's the aggressiveness that Mike was talking about a little while ago. Underway in the second quarter. Murray with Johnson, Pachulia, Horford, and Williams. And there'll be a foul called against.
3 offensive
3-second violation.
Yeah,
correct.
3 seconds that time.
And Pachulia was in the lane for 3 seconds. First, I thought he was holding up a 2,
right.
meaning
Joe
Johnson.
Erik Spoelstra's got to be happy with the fact that in the last game, their quarter breakdown, 21, 18, 18, and only 7 in the fourth quarter scored. So here they have 24 points at the end of the fourth quarter. So you got to like that if you're looking for points.
Beasley off the rim on the shot. So Beasley's in there along with Moon. Mario Chalmers back in the game, and Jamal McGlure and Daquan Cook. Here is Johnson hitting. Johnson now with 8 points. He and Josh Smith lead the Hawks. McGlure was expected to be an early entry for Erik Spoelstra in game 1 and really not a factor. And here he is early as Chalmers, who is on the floor with 2 personal fouls, gives Miami a 6-point lead. Johnson defended well by Moon, who knocks it away, and they're going to call the reach-in foul on Moon.
Well, McGlure had been a very, very steady player for Miami down the stretch run. He would come in behind Jermaine O'Neal after O'Neal, was acquired in the trade. He's got toughness. He sets great screens. He has the ability to keep people off the backboard. But what happened in game 1, Erik Spoelstra decided to go small, and he slid Udonis Haslem over to the 5 spot for a portion of that game.
Murray to Pachulia, and the foul. Good penetration there by Flip Murray in his 7th year, and Pachulia will go to the free throw line. Talking about McGlure, he's in his 9th year, and the Heat are his 6th different team. But a tough inside player, as you said, and here is Pachulia on the free throw line. early in the second quarter. Nathan Ford and his team are back in TNT's Smash Hit Leverage. Don't miss the new season premiere this July, only on TNT.
One thing that may play out if this game remains close down the stretch. Remember, Atlanta, not a good free throw shooting team. Just over 73% from the floor, which places them 28th in the NBA. So if it gets down to the end, fouls take place, you've got to make your free throws.
4 for 7 so far in this game. Beasley defended by Horford. And Bibby is in the game, and Cook hitting. And Daquan Cook, who has cooled off since the All-Star break when he won the three-point shootout, and that's got to do a world of good for his confidence hitting the three there.
You know, he's had a sore right shoulder. He goes 1 for 6 last game, 0 for 5 from the three-point line. And he's a youngster who really lost his confidence. That's what happened. And as a result of that, Spoelstra cut his minutes back up. They need him.
And Williams driving in and sandwiched by 2 members of the Heat, who right now have their biggest lead of the game with 2 minutes elapsed.
Watch this foul by Jamal Magloire. This is a Magloire foul. It's a tough, hard foul, and you are not going to get the ball up. That's physical playoff basketball there.
Magloire's first, and so Marvin Williams going to the line. Played only twice in the last 18 games because of a lower back strain, and was back in the lineup for the first game of the series on Sunday, and had his career best three-point shooting season. We'll try to bring the Hawks to within 6. Atlanta won 3 out of the 4 games against the Heat in the regular season, but there were players missing from both squads. Wade missed the last, Horford missed an earlier game. Chalmers trying to keep it alive is Moon, and does. And Moon on the receiving end of it. Cook fires away, hits another 3. Daquan Cook, but not before the hustle of Jamario Moon and Magloire. Williams driving in, and that's the over-the-rim act that the Atlanta Hawks provide, and it's now again 32-25.
Yeah, remember, second chance points in the first game, the Hawks 10-2. Right now, 10-0 in favor of Miami. All those hustle things taking place for Miami that make such a huge difference.
And the Heat will turn it over out of bounds. So Atlanta trying to get back in this game. Daquan Cook had a foot on the line. Murray defended by Daquan Cook. Pachulia is trying to set a screen outside, open underneath. Murray batted in the air. Pachulia made it happen. Here's Bibby hitting a 3. Bibby with his second three-point field goal. Good hustle by Zaza Pachulia to keep it alive in the air.
And what we've seen now is hustle plays, getting the ball back, giving your team another opportunity, have resulted in three-point plays for both sides, for both teams.
And this is, you see the level of play in game 2 has risen. Really for both teams. Here is Beasley going outside and hitting. Beasley with his first field goal of the season, finished the year as the 5th highest scoring rookie in the league, nearly 14 a game. And here is Bibby penetrating inside, and the offensive foul as he charges into Jamal Magloire.
There's the steady minutes from Jamal Magloire. And I'll tell you, there is a battle going on between Magloire and Pachulia under the rim.
A very interesting first half of game number 2 after the blowout by Atlanta. It's 34-28 Miami, and we'll take a timeout.
Mike's been he's been great for us since day one. You know, I'll never forget the day we got him, and it was right at the All-Star break in LA, and you know, he's came in and made everybody better, you know, since the first day. So, you know, he takes a lot of pressure off me, you know, coming off pick and rolls, a guy who can shoot, makes the defense play honest, and he creates for everyone, so he keeps everybody happy.
First full year with the Hawks, and we'll see if there'll be any more. Mike came last February from Sacramento and has 59 games of playoff experience.
Well, as Mike Woodson said, we would not have been in the playoffs last year without Mike Bibby, and everyone is petitioning for the Hawks to re-sign Bibby. His contract is up. He's a free agent at the end of this year. He made just under, we'll see the offensive foul called right there, he made just under $15 million a year. So now the Hawks going to commit money to him. How long, how much? And Rick Son, who's the executive vice president, general manager, he's got a tough decision. You watch the elbow right there. Maybe gives a little acting job, flips back, and there's the foul.
And that's a big one because that's the third personal foul on Chalmers. And he'll go to the bench again. And Dwayne Wade will come back in. So 3 fouls on Mario Chalmers, whose defense for a rookie was phenomenal this year.
So if you're Mike Woodson, are you happy that Chalmers got that foul and now all of a sudden Wade comes back in the game? You got to face him now.
We'll let you know. And traveling called against Josh Smith.
Mike Woodson might be yelling out, take that foul back. He didn't really foul him that bad.
You know, it was interesting what Eric said to Cheryl after the first quarter. He said the question is, can our reserves keep up the play of the starters? And right now the Miami bench has outscored the Atlanta reserves to the tune of 11-1.
Well, that's what happened in game number 1. As soon as he started to substitute, that's when Atlanta opened the game up. And the huge second quarter, 35-18 in game number 1. Beasley, again, when he gets it going, this guy scores with anyone. Anybody that guards him, he'll get points on you because he has a knack for being around the rim, following shots up, getting fouled, and he makes his jumpers.
So now it's 13-1 for the bench, and Beasley, second player taken after Derrick Rose of the Bulls. And here is Horford with a turnaround against McGlure, the rebound by Wade.
You know where McGlure went as Horford was backing him down? Nowhere. He held his ground. Horford couldn't get close to the rim.
Meanwhile, Horford knocks it away, but it's still controlled by the Heat. Dwayne Wade missing from the corner. Wade already has hit 1 3 and has 8 points in the game. And here is Horford. Tough to stop this, as Al Horford getting the basket now. And that is only his first field goal of the game from Josh Smith. Good feed, and the Heat are up by 6. This is game 2, best of 7 Eastern Conference first round. No basket as Beasley was fouled by Josh Smith before the drive, and that will be 2 on Smith. Right now the Heat have Jamario Moon, Jamal McGlure, Beasley, and Daquan Cook, and Dwayne Wade. Beasley trying to drive against Smith to get another foul. Turned it over. Joe Johnson. Foul. And Dwayne Wade with his second personal foul. All started with the turnover.
You see the hands in, the strip by Murray, and then he gets it out in front. And what's very interesting, as you see the foul here by Dwayne Wade with his body. I think right now Atlanta has 30 points on the board. 10 of the 30 points that they've scored are fast break points, and this could be number 11 and 12. So think about it, without their transition scores, what has Atlanta's offense done against Miami's defense? Very little so far.
You're right, 35 points by the Hawks in the second quarter. In game 1, you pointed out. Right now the Hawks have 31, and we have nearly halfway remaining in this second quarter. So the pace, despite some of the fast break flurries, have favored the Miami Heat. 1 out of 2 free throws, and Eric Spoelstra wants to talk things over. Just under 7 minutes to go in the first half. The Miami Heat more than holding their own on the road in game 2.
Welcome back. The Miami Heat care about the community. Forwards James Jones and Mark Blount recently helped to unveil the team's 6th Learn and Play Center at a local community center. Players join with the center's young people to try out some of the games and technology equipment and shoot some hoops before cutting the ribbon on the brand new space. The NBA, where caring happens. Dick?
All right, Cheryl, thank you very much. And we've been talking about how the Miami Heat, with a 28-game turnaround, the best in the NBA. But let's not forget the Hawks, who improved by 10 games from a year ago and had the winning record 47-35 to get that 4th seed and home court advantage. So they're trying to really make it count here. Wade has an opening. No look pass to Daquan Cook. In and out. Tapped out by O'Neal, and Moon is fouled. So there is Jermaine O'Neal coming back into the game and already making his presence felt. The foul will be against Joe Johnson, his second.
Jamario Moon has done a lot of small things since he's been out on the floor, and a couple of them have been getting to the ball first before the Hawk player could get there and winding up saving an opportunity for Miami.
And he has 4 rebounds as well. Now the Heat turn it over. Bibby. Wade picking up Johnson. Wade, remember, has 2 fouls. Johnson with the jumper. And good position this time.
Good job of transition defense that time by Miami. They understood what happened in game 1. Fast break points, 18-4 in favor of Atlanta. They've got to get back and stop the easy baskets.
Both teams shooting in the mid-40s shooting-wise. And here is Beasley. Wild shot by Beasley. So it's Johnson along with Smith, Bibby, Horford, and Flip Murray. Here's Joe Johnson getting a step inside. 2 defenders, but Horford cleans up. That's what Atlanta can do so well. If there's a loose ball, they got a guy to slam it through, and the lead now comes to 3. 5 dunks by the Hawks in this first half. Beasley with Cook, Wade, Moon, and Jermaine O'Neal. 4 on the shot clock. Here's Daquan Cook, and he hits another one. That is his 3rd 3-point field goal. And that has really boosted the Heat up again by 6. Remember, the Heat 4 for 23, an incredibly low 17% from 3-point range in Sunday's opener. Bibby already has hit a pair of 3s. Beasley picks him up on the switch. 3 on the shot clock. And Murray with a long attempt. And Josh Smith tries to tap it away. And a foul is called, but first let's check in with Cheryl Miller.
You know, guys, even though the previous possession on Cook's shot, even though we missed it, you should have seen his body language. It is entirely different. He said that he went back to his old routine of putting up 75 to 100 shots per game, and he says that he's been using and overcompensating with his legs, but guys, he looks great right now, and he says today is the first time in a very long time where he's felt that he's had his rhythm.
And he certainly has shown it, Cheryl, as Daquan Cook, who picked up that foul on Smith. And right now the Atlanta Hawks are struggling from the free throw line, 7 of 12 thus far. And the Heat now over the limit. That was their 15th foul, and with 5 minutes to go. But the Hawks need to make their free throws to make that count. But Smith misses both. And so the Heat with the ball and a 6-point lead.
You see how fragile someone's mentality can be as a shooter in particular. This guy, Cook, won the 3-point competition All-Star Weekend, yet he loses his confidence because he doesn't make them in a couple of games. It's hard to get that back again. You've got to have that belief. Great shooters think they're going to make every shot.
And they're going to call traveling on Wade. He was looking to induce Joe Johnson into a foul, and Johnson avoided it, and he had nowhere to go.
I thought he did a good thing. Johnson's hand, I thought, came on the ball, so Wade dropped it as if Johnson blocked it out of his hands. Let's see. Right there is where I thought Johnson had touched the ball, and Wade, I thought, did a smart thing. Drop it to the floor and try to pick it back up again.
Well, the Heat have a 6-point lead under 5 minutes to go in the first half, and Wade has not been a dominant player. He does have 8 to lead the team, but it's been a terrific team effort thus far. .438 remaining in the half, and the Heat with 39 points, leading by 6. That's as many as they scored in the entire first half in game number 1. Jermaine O'Neal with 6 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 for 2 from the line. Leading scorer is Wade for the Heat, and Joe Johnson with 9 for the Hawks. Daquan Cook also with 9, thanks to his 3 threes. Wade is on Murray. Hey! Knocked away by Dwayne Wade. Good deflection. 3-on-1 break here. And Daquan Cook lays it in. So now Cook with 11 points. Quickly up court to Murray. And the foul is called. So O'Neal waiting for Murray to come in. They'll look for the block and fouls him. And that will be the second on Jermaine O'Neal. But Eric Spoelstra's Heat now up by 8 as Murray goes to the strike. So Murray, who has missed 4 shots looking for his first point of the game, has it. And right now let's send it to our studios here in Atlanta to Ernie Johnson.
Southwest Airlines game break. Dick, remember how in Game 1 Orlando had an 18-point third period lead? They had an 18-point third period lead tonight, too, but look at Philadelphia coming back after the missed Courtney Lee dunk. Lou Williams lays it in. Right now, 74-67 as they play in the fourth quarter. Kenny and Chuck will be here in a few minutes for the T-Mobile halftime report with a breakdown of the first half of the Heat and the Hawks. And still to come tonight, the Hornets and the Nuggets. Matt Devlin, PJ Carlissimo, and Mark Fine on the case. Now, back to the highlight factory. Dick.
All right, Ernie, and you're right. It looks like a carbon copy thus far for that Orlando-Philadelphia game. A jump ball has been called. And it's Murray jumping against Wade, controlled by Miami. Dwayne Wade hitting the jumper. 10 points for Wade on 3 for 7 shooting. And the Heat lead now 43-35. Biggest lead was 9. Here's Joe Johnson. Attracts a crowd with Bibby, who has hit 2 threes, misses here. Wade pulls up 2 in a row as his rhythm. And Dwayne Wade now with 12, and the Heat, for the first time, have a double-digit lead.
Flip Murray is so worried about Dwayne Wade going by him off the dribble that he's backed up so far. He's letting Wade basically walk up to the foul line and shoot a 16, 17-foot foul line jump shot.
Well, the intensity, so much better for the Heat in this game, but the Hawks within range and always are. Here is the three-point attempt at the shot clock buzzer by Murray, and the Heat throw it away. Costly turnover. When you've got the momentum going and a 10-point lead in the ball with 3 minutes remaining, that was Beasley guilty of that turnover.
Now, once Wade starts making jump shots, you've got your hands full. So right here, you see how far back Murray's playing off, and Wade just takes one hard dribble, gets within a foot of the foul line, elevates and makes a 16-footer.
Horford trying to set a screen for Bibby. Under 3 minutes to go, lost the dribble. O'Neal cutting off Horford. Fighting for inside and gets the basket, but O'Neal did everything he could do.
Yeah, that was an excellent defensive job, but an even better offensive job. Horford got himself on the move, got it up over the outstretched arm of Jermaine O'Neal.
Wade going for 3, and hits again, 3 in a row for Dwayne Wade. That is his second three-point field goal of the game, and the Heat now lead by 11.
You see what Eric Spoelstra's doing, keeping Dwayne Wade out in the open floor so he can see if they decide to come and double team him.
And Murray getting inside, and Horford with the follow-up. So it's 48-39, but Dwayne Wade feeling it now, has 15 points, and we have under 2 minutes to play in the first half. The Heat trying to win on the road and take one here after a 26-point blowout. Losing to the Hawks in Game 1, and Murray called for the blocking foul. Dwayne Wade doing a good job tonight in drawing fouls. And that is the 4th team foul against Atlanta. The Heat have been over the limit as Maurice Evans checks into the game, and Murray goes out.
You see Wade directing traffic right there, telling the screen to go away, and then he elevates for the three-point shot and hits it. And the head coach knows if he starts making shots on a regular basis, he's going to be very happy, because not too many people can guard that guy when he's making his long-range jumper.
So after going 4 for 23 from three-point range, the Heat 6 of 10 thus far, and trying for another one, and they got it. Dwayne Wade is scorching out here. 18 points and 3 threes, and the Heat now lead at 51-39.
You know what Mike Woodson's saying right now? Oh no, don't tell me it's going to be one of those nights where he starts making everything.
And there is Smith. Throws the air ball up from 3, but Evans cleans up for the field goal, but the Heat will gladly trade 3 for 2 every time down the floor.
Yeah, that was Daquan Cook, who was caught on the backside. Instead of blocking out Evans, backside, he can't do it, he gets inside position.
Dwayne Wade has scored the last 10 Miami Heat points. And he has another chance and hits a 3. This time the Hawks backed up against him, and 4 threes So 13 points in succession for Dwayne Wade, who has 21 points. And has come back strong. And the offensive foul called against Joe Johnson. And that is his third foul. So things starting to get a little cloudy here for the Atlanta Hawks in the late stages of this first half.
Good job defensive rotation that time by Jermaine O'Neal. Wade sees both defenders start to go away for a second. It gives him the space that he needs. Atlanta gets a little bit confused here as they come out of the rotation. They don't decide at that moment who's staying with Wade. When you got a guy hot like that, you've got to have someone stay with him.
So Dwayne Wade has scored 13 points in just under 3 minutes. 14 on the shot clock. 13-point lead for Miami has quieted this usually loud Phillips Arena crowd. This time Wade misses out of bounds, and the Hawks have it with just under 27 seconds left.
Dwayne finally got the guy on him that he wanted to be playing him, Bibby. I thought he was going to try to go by Bibby, but he's feeling it. So he's so hot right now. He just elevated, knew he could shoot it right over the top of Bibby, who's much smaller.
And Wade is going to go to the bench, not risk picking up a foul. He has two. He was out at 5 o'clock this evening, which he has never done before, coming here to shoot. And you know that, as he said after game one, I always take it personally when I have that kind of performance. But what a first half for number 3 tonight.
And you know what he saw when he got here at 5 o'clock up on the scoreboard? He saw the score still up there from game number 1. So
a little reminder.
Yeah.
Let's go Hawks.
In essence, playing for the final shot of this first half. The Heat, scoring 39 in the first half in game 1, have 54 here. And the three-point shot missed by Evans. And Miami gets the rebound. Couple of seconds left. They have a chance. Haslam. And it would have counted had it gone. And that is the end of the first half. And a great spurt by Dwayne Wade late in the half. 21 points. Scoring the last 13 for Miami. And the Heat leading by 13 as you look at the scoring totals in the first half. Right now, let's send it over to Cheryl Miller.
Well, thanks a lot. You know, first of all, I understand that you and Daquan came over before the first bus. How beneficial was that, Dwayne?
It was very beneficial. Got a chance to get out here, shoot around with nobody in here. You know, work on, you know, my stroke and see the things that was going wrong. So, you know, sometimes you have to do that, and repetition always works.
You know, in the first game, the second quarter was disastrous for you guys. What was different about tonight? I mean, just the energy, the effort, and coming out and competing from the beginning.
Yeah, well, we came out and got into the fight. You know, early on, we didn't let them bring to us. We came out and we got into the fight early. We didn't let them get out in transition to get those easy buckets, and we stayed into it. Even when they got a highlight, the crowd went crazy. We came back and got a bucket. So we got to continue to keep doing it.
What do you focus on coming in the second half? Because you know they're going to make some runs.
Well, we got to focus on the defensive end, rebound. I got a visit from Alonzo today. Flew up to see me, and he told me we better lock down on that end of the floor. And you know, you don't want to be Alonzo to be mad at you. So we did it.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Dwayne. All right, coming up, we'll be sending it down to Atlanta, which I am here, and for the T-Mobile halftime report, returning Kenny and Sir Charles.
And welcome back to Phillips Arena here in Atlanta, with the Heat leading the Atlanta Hawks 54-41 to try to even the best-of-7 series at 1 game apiece. Along with Mike Fratello, the Czar, Dick Stockton, and what a second quarter for Dwayne Wade. He scored the last 13 of his 21 points for the Heat, and he did it in 3.5 minutes. What an explosion. It couldn't come at a better time for Miami.
Well, you said he came in early and started shooting at 5 o'clock, trying to make up for the game 1 performance of just 8 for 21 from the floor. Dwayne Wade started warming up by taking his medium-range jump shot. He can get the ball almost anywhere he wants on the floor. So down deep in the corner the first time, then straight on. Now as he starts to warm up, he gets deeper behind the three-point line. He winds up hitting 4 of 6 three-pointers, and a terrific display, 21 points, 7 of 13 shooting altogether for Dwayne Wade.
And right now, let's take a look at our game summary brought to you by Dos Equis, and we're going to compare the Heat between game 1 and game 2 in this second quarter.
We just look at the three-pointers alone. They've picked up 18 points on three-pointers, whereas they had 0 three-pointers in game number 1. Dwayne Wade doubling his productivity from game number 1. And we talked about if Wade can get 30 or more points, okay, that's one of the keys to Miami being able to get a victory. Look at the field goal attempts, Nick. Almost exactly the same, 19 versus 18.
And number 1 on the list, and you said it right at the top of this broadcast, the tempo and the heat have controlled that. Let's listen to the sounds of the game. Eric Spoelstra.
All right, Mike. Come here. Hey, remember, what's the most important thing right now? Pace. Pace. There's no rush. There's no rush.
And what Eric Spoelstra is referring to is that Beasley had hit a jump shot just before that. But then he came down and he hurried and took a rushed bad shot right in front of the Heat bench. He knew it. Spoelstra just reminding him that you can get a shot whenever you want. Be patient. Use that clock. Make it to our advantage.
So we have a 33-point turnaround from the first game to right here as the Heat, and they know they're not out of the woods, not with the explosive athleticism of this Atlanta Hawk team. We'll see how they respond. Bibby bringing the ball up. Bibby in there along with Joe Johnson, Al Horford, Josh Smith, and Marvin Williams. Same 5 that started the game. Bibby finds Johnson, lost control, but the follow-up by Marvin Williams.
Perfect execution that time. Joe Johnson just lost control of the ball, or you had an easy layup.
The Orlando Magic evening their best-of-7 series, beating the 76ers in Game 2. Heat trying to do the same here. Chalmers playing with 3 fouls. Here's Jermaine O'Neal hitting the first shot. O'Neal now with 8 points on 3 for 5 shooting. Fine all-around game.
He seems alive tonight, Jermaine O'Neal. He seems like he's got hop in his legs. His offensive moves are very assertive.
Josh Smith working his way in, and it was Udonis Haslem who got a piece of that ball. O'Neal was there as well. And there's Dwayne Wade. Here is Haslem on the offensive end, and a very sharp start by the Heat, opening up a 15-point lead early in this third quarter, their biggest lead of the game.
You almost haven't even noticed, Dick, that Haslem is out on the floor this evening. Horford missing the face-up 12-footer. Haslem just 1 rebound in the first half, 1 for 3 from the floor. I mean, this guy is one of their main cogs to their defensive end of the floor. He knows his rotations. He has great toughness.
Here's O'Neal guarded by Horford. And the pass inside. Jones feeding Haslem. Misses the layup and loses it. A big opportunity going by the wayside by the Heat. Joe Johnson. Here's Williams. Misses the 3, and Haslem getting the rebound. Worried about foul trouble. Joe Johnson and Mario Chalmers each with 3 for their respective teams.
Dick, I'm not trying to make excuses for Udonis Haslem, but remember, he does have that very bad thumb. He just took the splint off, and they just took the 6 stitches out 2 days ago. So that could be part of the reason why he's losing the ball.
And there's Jermaine O'Neal, fouled. And you're right about Haslem, and of course there's the thumb, but remember he played in the Eastern Conference Finals with a separated shoulder back in '06, so he is a tough warrior indeed, but you've got to know that that lacerated thumb that required 6 stitches, missing the last 6 games, has to affect him somehow.
Yeah, I mean, he is never going to say a word to you. All he's about is just playing. That's it. So if you ever say to him, like, are you hurt? Do you have to come out? The answer is no. That's it. He just wants to play.
Horford committing the foul, and O'Neal hits the first. National coverage of the NBA playoff continues Thursday on NBA TV. San Antonio and Dallas starts at 8. Friday on ESPN, Game 3s, Cleveland at Detroit, Portland at Houston. And Sunday on ABC, coverage begins at 12:30. It'll be Boston, Chicago, Cleveland at Detroit. Those are all Game 4. 2 free throws by O'Neal. The lead is 17 for Miami. Chalmers with 3 fouls guarding Bibby, and Wade nearly knocked it away. By the way, Dwayne Wade, who came in 3rd for the all-defensive honors, won by Dwight Howard, and very much has expressed hope that he is named to the all-defensive first team this year.
An interesting top 3. Congratulations to Dwight Howard. The rebounding, the block shots, changing people's shots at the front of the rim. But number 2, LeBron James. huge commitment at the defensive end. 3, Dwayne Wade.
And Bibby with his third 3 of the game, bringing the Hawks back 60-46.
If you would have said a year ago that the second and third place voters in the Defensive Player of the Year award were going to be LeBron James and Dwayne Wade, most people would have said absolutely not. But that's what the summer with that Olympic team did for them. It gave them a new mindset.
Complete players all, and that's what we have, and we have it with Kobe Bryant as well, the other of the triumvirate of top MVP candidates.
Kobe kind of set the example out there, and they followed him. You know, his work ethic, incredible. You know, he makes a statement at the defensive end.
And Johnson will be called for his 4th foul. Joe Johnson picks up his 4th as Dwayne Wade is fouled.
You'll see the body contact as Wade starts to go forward. That right leg gets in up underneath him. Wade slips, goes down, foul's called.
And right now, let's send it over to Cheryl Miller with a special guest, Cheryl.
A very special guest, 11 seasons, just recently retired from the Miami Heat. And, you know, it's interesting, Zoe. Dwayne just said that at halftime that you were the reason for the defensive turnaround. What did you get in his ear about?
Well, I made a trip down here. I told him I could be on the golf course right now, you know, but I didn't like what I saw in game 1. The team feeds off his energy, and regardless if that ball is going through the hole, I mean, he's proven that he's a great defensive player, and he needed to show that regardless, you know.
Yeah, it was a very emotional retirement, but looking out here now, do you want to get back into it?
Do I what?
Do you want to get back into it?
I didn't hear that.
It's got to be hard to just breathe the
No, I don't. No, let me tell you what, it's kind of bittersweet. I miss the camaraderie and being around the guys. But I tell you what, Cheryl, I don't miss the way I used to feel after games, waking up in the morning, ice bags and everything. I don't miss that at all.
I think so. Let's send it back to you.
All right, and a flurry of baskets. Jermaine O'Neal hit a 2, but then a 3-point field goal by Bibby, and then Dwayne Wade follows with his 5th 3-pointer. A flurry of baskets. Marvin Williams going in, and the putback by Horford. And with 4 minutes gone by, this has been a spectacular high-wire act. And there you see the second chance points. That close. A 15-point Heat lead, Mike.
And you'll see for Atlanta, Bibby's going to have to pick up his productivity. You're going to have to see Josh Smith give them points with Joe Johnson on the bench. The block that time by Josh Smith leads the transition game now for Atlanta.
He blocked Dwayne Wade, and here's Marvin Williams coming in and gets the basket and the foul. So how about Mike Woodson's team response right here after the Miami Heat coming out here in the 3rd quarter? James Jones commits the foul inside.
Yeah, good things usually start at the defensive end of the floor, and for Atlanta, that means they get the opportunities, as they did in game 1, to get out, run in the open floor, and outnumber Miami's transition defense.
You can never discount, with the athleticism and length of this Atlanta Hawk team, their ability to come back and make up deficits. They're not all the way back by any stretch, but they're showing it here with a 3-point play by Marvin Williams. The lead is down to 12.
You know, when it was 17 points to lead just a few seconds ago, and Joe Johnson had to go out of the game, I was just about to say to you, Mike Woodson may have to make a decision. You can't let the game get so far that you can't get back in it. So he may have to bring Joe Johnson back in with the 4 fouls, but here they are cutting into the lead, and now back to 12.
Maurice Evans replaced Johnson, and Bibby hits a basket. So Bibby now with 13 points and a timeout called by the Miami Heat. So 7 points shaved off the lead by the Miami Heat. A quick 7-0 run, and that happened in a jiff.
Normally timeouts come quicker in playoff games, but when you start getting the crowd into the game, Mike Bibby, a deadly shooter once he gets it going. He came off the screen, a wide open look. Too late getting back to him by Chalmers. So how you just want me to come up with it later.
5 on the shot clock. Iguodala. Step back over Turkoglu. Got it! Andre Iguodala. 198 Philadelphia in game 1, 2.2. Tenths of a second remain. Rose is on Rondo. Allen. Over Noah.
What early great first-round playoff moments on TNT. Matt Devlin and PJ Carlesimo had the call of Iguodala's game winner in game 1, and Kevin Harlan and Doug Collins called Ray Allen's game-winning three-pointer from game 2. Turner Sports and the NBA, 25 years and counting. Remember the Celtics and Bulls game 3 tomorrow on TNT. Coverage begins at 8 p.m. followed by the matchup between the Jazz and the Lakers.
See Doc Rivers, Tiger Woods impersonation as Ray Allen hit that long jump shot. Yes.
So the timeout called by Spoelstra and Dwayne Wade with the jumper. Wade now with 26 points, and the lead is 12 for the Heat.
Excellent timeout by Eric Spoelstra. The crowd was into it. The team is rolling. He comes out of the timeout. He draws up a play, and Wade makes it look good.
Wade committing the personal, and that'll be his 3rd. So 3 on Wade. Eric Spoelstra, who had the greatest one-season improvement ever for a rookie coach, and beat Pat Riley's victory record for a first-year Miami Heat head coach by 1. The Heat 43-39, 5th seed. Here is Bibby Horford in the corner. Williams driving in the baseline and hitting. Marvin Williams having a big 3rd quarter, has scored 7 of his 11 points here.
Well, Jermaine O'Neal is going to rotate across on the baseline. He has got to make himself big there, go up and block shots. We only have 2 personal fouls right now. Don't give him that little 3-foot floater.
Daquan Cook with Wade, Jermaine O'Neal, Haslam, and James Jones. And here is O'Neal going in. What an aggressive game for O'Neal, who came over in that trade with Toronto, and he has not really had a healthy career in the last several seasons.
He's missed so many games due to injury. That was one of the questions when Miami had the opportunity to do the deal with Toronto. You know, do you go get Jermaine O'Neal? Is he injured too much and he's not going to be able to be a productive player for you? So a big decision when they made that move.
He has 8 of his 14 points here in the 3rd. 10 on the shot clock. Here's Dwayne Wade's got another one. Dwayne Wade now with 28 points. And a totally different Dwayne Wade. And you kind of had the feeling you weren't going to see the same Dwayne Wade of game number 1.
He's had too many great performances this season. He's carried this team into the playoffs, so you expect him to bounce back.
And there is the foul as Horford going in, and Jermaine O'Neal challenged him and got a lot part of the ball on that play.
And that's what I was just talking about on the play before, that he has to be the big man that's going to protect the front of the rim, kind of like Alonzo Mourning used to do so often. Wade's so comfortable in his groove right now. You see him when he's bouncing into that jump shot. He gets the lift. He's got the beautiful. He is a very, very good shooter. People never gave him credit for being a good shooter. But when you talk to the Miami staff, they say he is a very good shooter. Like, he just was so used to always driving and slashing when he first came into the league, and he knows he can get to the foul line when he wants.
And he's gone to the field 10 of 17 so far. And Dwayne Wade is 3 for 4, and of course the turnovers, and a lot of them had to do with the fact that you know, pressing a little bit because of the pace of the game and the fact that the rest of the teammates were not in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, the whole team struggled in game number 1. It was a very frustrating game for Miami, and it got worse and worse as it went on, capped off by a 7-point fourth quarter.
Horford misses the both free throws as Wade doesn't make it go, and they're going to call the Hawks foul right here. Atlanta may rue the fact that they have had so much trouble from the free throw line, and Mike Woodson's team playing so well defensively in game 1. That's not the story here, as the Heat well over 50% shooting. Foul was on Williams, his 2nd. Each team with 3 team fouls. O'Neal down low against Horford and gets fouled, and very nearly got the spin of the ball as well, Mike.
Yeah, what they're doing is on Jermaine O'Neal, when he puts the ball to the floor, they start to come down halfway with the next guy. It's not a hard commitment on the double team, but then when he dribbles it the second time, they try and get back in there and strip him like the basketball. But you'll see him given the option or opportunity down low. He has certainly produced tonight. One of the things that he mentioned, a little help there by running the floor, getting the easy transition score, but he mentioned after game 1, I'd like to be a little bit more involved at the offensive end of the floor. Eric Spoelstra certainly has done that.
Had only 5 shots in game number 1, 5 for 7, a terrific all-round game. The Heat right now are 8 of 11 from the free throw line. They haven't gone to the line nearly as much as the Hawks, but the Hawks have missed 8 free throws thus far.
We talked about that being 28th in the NBA in free throw shooting. Eventually you wind up losing games because of that.
So Jermaine O'Neal with 16 points, 3 Heat in double figures led by Wade with 28, Cook with 11 off the bench thanks to his trio of threes. Here's Josh Smith with a runner. Pachulia has come in the game, try to bat it in, but the Heat come down with it. Miami leading 73-57 as we wind down to 4 minutes remaining in the third. Kept this crowd out of the game, and they were in it from the start in game 1. Here's Wade to Cook, open for 3. Smith with the rebound. Smith going up. And another attempt. Josh Smith, who had 23 in game number 1, has just 8 at this point.
Right now, Josh Smith is getting very frustrated. He's gone to the basket 2 or 3 times, thinking he was going to get a call, and he has not gotten the call. So you've got to keep his head in the game. He's got to just focus in on doing his job and forget about the officials.
He's missed his last 4 shots, Mike, as Pachulia getting the rebound. Lead is 16, and Cook fouls Bibby. That'll be the 4th team foul against the Miami Heat and the 2nd on Cook. So the Heat were up by 17, and a couple of occasions the Hawks got it down to 10, but now Miami has opened it up a little bit again.
Well, why? Because Dwayne Wade comes out of a timeout, hits a big shot for a deuce, then goes back and hits a 3, and all of a sudden, lead goes back to, to where they were very comfortable at 16 or 17.
And Cook gets called for another foul, and that will be the 5th team foul and the penalty. So Mike Bibby will shoot a pair.
And Cook has to understand Bibby is very smart. He's a very good actor. You get your body too close to him, he's going to react to it, and the officials give him the call.
Flip Murray came into the game for Marvin Williams, so it's Bibby and Murray along with Evans, Josh Smith, and Zaza Pachulia. Beasley, the outstanding rookie from Kansas State who played 1 year, just 20 years old, comes into the game, replaces Udonis Haslem. Bibby with 2 free throws. Miami by 14. Wade picked up by Josh Smith now. Tight defense on Beasley by Maurice Evans, but Beasley goes to the hoop, and James Jones follows with the basket. Another second chance effort by the Heat.
Miami has done that the entire night. They've given just that little bit of extra effort. It's proved to giving them probably 4 or 5 baskets.
Smith goes in, the basket and the foul, and you're looking at a relentless, determined guy there in Josh Smith, the native Atlantan. And Smith right now, with 10 points, will get a chance to go to the line and a timeout.
Beasley almost blocked this thing at the end. A little bit of body on him at the end. That's where the foul took place.
The Heat are up by 14, and everyone has a mentor, and Mike Woodson, the coach of the Atlanta Hawks, certainly has one, and a frequent visitor here to Phillips Arena is Bill Smith, the former coach at Broad Ripple High School in Indianapolis, who has really followed Mike Woodson's career. What made Mike Woodson a possible coach in the future? Work ethic, he said, and the fact that he had self-discipline, doing the right thing when no one is looking. He said that he learned eye contact, how to present, and how to be a coach and a communicator. And very proud of Mike Woodson is Bill Smith, his former high school coach.
Yeah, and Mike Woodson loves his high school coach. I mean, he takes him all over with him. They've done coaches clinics together. Coach comes in, spends a week at a time in here, and during the season watches practices and training camp with Mike Woodson. Very successful high school coach, and always shows up at playoff time.
Free throw made by Josh Smith. And with 2:40 to go in the third quarter, it's a 13-point Miami lead. And the foul, as Bibby came in and fouls Dwayne Wade, and that will be the 5th foul, so Wade will shoot 2.
That's about the 4th or 5th time we've seen the man that Mike Bibby is guarding set the screen on Dwayne Wade, so that if Atlanta wants to switch, which they do a lot of switching on their pick and roll defense, you wind up with Bibby trying to guard Wade.
Wade is 3 for 4 from the line as he hits the first.
Now watch the grab on the arm right there. You see the grab, and Mike Woodson trying to figure it out. Doesn't like the call by the official.
And Dwayne Wade looking for his 30th point, and he has it. And what did you say at the outset of this game, Mike Fratello? That they're going to need several things, including at least 30 from Dwayne Wade.
We said keep the score in the low 90s. Wade's got to get 30 plus, and their turnovers must be kept down. They can't have 19.
And Smith from Bibby on the lob pass. And it's back to 13 as we approach 2 minutes to go in the third. Beasley. Smith was gambling on the play, and Smith with the block out of bounds.
How about that recovery? Smith went for the steal, missed, wound up in the first row of the seats, came back in and blocked the shot when Beasley tried to finish it with his left hand. There he reappears after going into the front row. What effort that time by Josh Smith.
You can capitalize the A in athleticism for the Atlanta Hawks on that play as Exhibit A. Here is Wade with 5 on the shot clock. Beasley open for 3 and hits. Beasley off the bench now, hitting his first 3-point attempt. And there's a 9 for 17 night for the Heat, up again by 16.
That was Dwayne Wade once again creating for his teammates, getting into the heart of the defense and throwing back out behind the 3-point line. That's why you have to be able to spread and space the floor against defenses that are going to collapse on Dwayne Wade. No hesitation that time. Catch and shoot 3 by Michael Beasley.
James Jones on the foul. And Flip Murray missing, and that's been a big problem for the Hawks. Get the family together for the new season premiere of Tyler Perry's Meet the Browns, Wednesday, May 27th, only on TBS. So Murray makes 1 out of 2. He is 0 for 7 from the field, and of course he's the most experienced reserve off the bench for Mike Woodson. It's a 15-point Miami lead. Jamal McGlure back in the game, saw action early on in the first half. The trap with Pachulia and Evans on Wade, and open will be Daquan Cook, who hits the 3. Daquan Cook now has 4 3-point field goals. That's 9 between Cook and Wade, who has 5 for Miami with 11. Murray driving in to Pachulia, and he gets the basket. Good feed by Murray.
Didn't we see that in the first half? Murray down the middle, dropped the ball off to Horford, who finished, or Smith, who finished in the first half, and that time Pachulia. Same exact thing, Murray creating it with his dribble penetration.
Under a minute remaining in the third. Here's Wade. Picked up by Josh Smith, throws it away, and there is Murray ahead of the field, will score. So Dwayne Wade with his 3rd turnover of the game. And it's down to 14 again.
Part of that could have been just fatigue, the exhaustion of going back and forth, trying to come up with the ball against the Atlanta defense.
14-second differential on the clock. Here's Jones. Missing a 3-point attempt, and the Atlanta Hawks putting on a late spurt here, playing for the last shot here. 14-point lead. Here is Bibby. Murray with his first field goal of the game, hitting a 3 as the third quarter comes to an end. And Miami's lead is 11.
Bibby that time with the penetration. Nice job of unselfishness. Murray knows exactly where the clock is when he catches it, launches it, hits the 3 as the clock goes off.
So the Atlanta Hawks score the last 7 points of the third quarter and setting up what should be a final 12 minutes or more. Miami 83, Atlanta 72. It's 83-72. And a few moments ago, Cheryl Miller caught up with the Hawks head coach Mike Woodson.
Well, Coach, you got to be encouraged by the way that the third quarter ended, but talk about the defensive breakdowns, not only in the first half, but a little in the third.
We're not making a second effort. You know, I mean, we're stopping penetration, the ball's being kicked out, and we're not making the next effort to get out the shooters, and they're making shots. You know, so we got to adjust this fourth quarter, try to get them in the penalty early, and see if we can get back in this thing.
You know, Miami's done a great job of maintaining and managing the pace. Would you like to speed it up a little bit?
A little bit, you know, but we're going to have to probably move up the floor and try to pick up a little bit more to extend our defense and see what we can do there.
All right, thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Meanwhile, Daquan Cook hits his 5th three-point basket. And with all of that, Mike, with that late spurt by the Atlanta Hawks, they really shaved only 2 points off the Heat total.
Yeah, and the reason is they come up with 31 points in the third quarter, Atlanta. However, 29 points for Miami, so they scored right back at him. It was like a trade-off. And here's Cook, who's got the hot hand, and Miami's finding him. With Wade sitting, you start to say, okay, who's going to score for Miami? And we just saw the answer.
Pachulia tries to keep it alive, and Josh Smith puts it through. Interesting, you talk about the 29 by the Heat. That was more points than they scored in the second half of Game 1 when they had only 25.
Right now, the important thing is the tempo of the game cannot get away from this group that's on the floor, because Atlanta's going to come back and try and put some quick scores on the glass.
Chalmers loses control, out of control, and there is Murray from Josh Smith. And I'll tell you, the good point made by Mike Woodson is that they don't have as many fast break points. That's because the Miami Heat are making shots 53%, but when you turn it over like that, then you get the Hawks on the fast break.
We just said the word tempo. That's the way Atlanta wants to play, is get out with the athletes they have in the open floor, score fast break points. And it happens when you turn the ball over, because you can't get back. Here he loses his footing. Chalmers just throws the ball out. Suddenly 3-on-2, 3 white jerseys, only 2 black jerseys back. The easy basket that time for the Hawks.
So now it's a 10-point game, 86-76. McGlure into the corner. Moon hitting a 2-point field goal, or is it 3? It's a 3 for Jamario Moon. And with a minute and a half gone by, look at the Heat, 13 of 22 from downtown, and up by 13 points early on here in the fourth quarter, trying to even this best of 7 at 1 apiece. Murray strung to the basket, and the foul, and pushing going on as Josh Smith has to be shoved away. Jamal McGlure hitting the floor, and for the first time in this series, we're having some contact inside.
Dick, I had mentioned before that Jamal McGlure has that enforcer's type of mentality out there. Josh Smith cannot lose his self-control, because he will be missing a playoff game if he winds up getting suspended. You can't be pushing people around. You see the hard foul, so he can't get the ball to the rim. Now afterwards, watch underneath the basket. That's Josh Smith, who pushes McGlure down. Not happy with the way McGlure fouled him. Or fouled his teammate, I should say.
Murray will go to the line. McGlure with his second foul. And hopefully a cooling off period. And they called double technicals on Smith and Chalmers.
Josh Smith.
And of course, a second technical by either one of them will mean their ejection.
Murray, 2 shots.
So Murray on the floor with Pachulia, Josh Smith. Joe Johnson is playing with 4 fouls. And Mike Bibby. The Heat have McGlure, Beasley, Moon, Chalmers, and Daquan Cook. But McGlure will go to the bench, replaced by Jermaine O'Neal, who has 16 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and has been key for the Heat tonight. So Flip Murray coming off the bench. And routine experience for him to be in postseason, has 10 of the Hawks' last 14. 2 minutes gone by. It's an 11-point game. That's what it was after 3. Beasley against Smith. Pretty play by Michael Beasley.
So they try to give Beasley the ball at about 18 to 20 feet because in one dribble he can get to the rim. He can shoot the jump shot without putting it down on the floor at all. Very tough to guard from that 18 to 20-foot area.
And Johnson is fouled in the lane. Beasley now with 10, and Joe Johnson will go to the free throw line.
Watch how he faces up Beasley. One dribble, takes the 2 long strides, and then that left-hand finish at the end. Very difficult to guard. Now, the other thing is, I don't think we're going to see Dwayne Wade sitting too much longer. About time. He was at 32 minutes when he went out of the game. You've got, almost 9.5 remaining, so he'd wind up at around 40, 41 minutes for the night if Eric Spoelstra brings him back. So Spoelstra has the feel for this team. He's got an idea of where they are right now and exactly when he feels he'll need Wade to re-enter the game. So
the Hawks making their free throws so far in the fourth quarter. They have missed 9 in the game. So an 11-point game, still double-digit advantage for the Heat. Here's Beasley over the top, and the Hawks will get the ball back. Al Horford will come into the game replacing Josh Smith. So Smith goes out with 15 points on 7 of 12 shooting. And Horford comes in. He has 9 rebounds to lead Atlanta.
Let's see if this guy, Joe Johnson, can get himself going. Just 2 for 9, okay? Johnson had 3 for 8 from the floor because he picked up that 4th foul, sat out the whole third quarter. But they need him to take over here for Atlanta.
This is the baseline shot. So it remains 11. 3 minutes going by here in the fourth. Series resumes Saturday and Monday in Miami. Daquan Cook with the baseline attempt. The battle for the loose ball won by the Hawks. Joe Johnson lost possession, picked up by Chalmers. Atlanta getting back defensively. Cook behind the line. Important for Miami not to rush.
Good patience that time by Cook. He didn't have the catch and shoot in transition. Put it down one dribble, brought it back out again.
Beasley isolated against Horford. Going to the basket. Another terrific lay-in by Michael Beasley. He has been impressive on a couple of these forays tonight. And Bibby hitting a 3. So Bibby hits his 4th from 3-point range, and the lead is 10. What a game.
Bibby being much more assertive, much more aggressive right now in this game as opposed to game number 1 where the entire team had it flowing.
And this game is a lot more with what people expected with that Heat Magic, that Heat matchup with the Atlanta Hawks. 4 minutes gone by.
Watch this tough finish by Michael Beasley. He just gets it up before Horford can block the shot. And then Bibby knows that he has to be productive at the offensive end. Steps back behind the line, hits a 3.
Hey, we almost got to play perfect basketball the rest of the way. We just got to play through it. And we got to make our own breaks.
Well, we got to concentrate right now is rebounding and defending, okay? Come on, win those 2 things right now.
That's Mike Woodson, and there is Eric Spoelstra, who has brought Dwayne Wade back in the game. Wade came out at the start of the fourth. It's been 4 minutes, and he's back in there now. And in that fourth quarter, the Hawks have only outscored the Heat 11-10. But it is down to a 10-point game, once at 18 in the third quarter. The shot clock expires. And the Heat totally fell asleep and did not know how much time remained on the clock.
And nothing more frustrating than coming out of a timeout where you're talking about what you have to do with the offensive end, the defensive end. You get a play set up that you're going to run. But everybody has to know how much time is left on the 24-second clock.
Bibby, Johnson, Horford, Pachulia, and Murray for the Hawks. Open is Horford. And O'Neal went after the loose ball, picked up by Cook. Dwayne Wade, 30 points tonight on 10 for 18 shooting, 5 3-pointers. Double team on O'Neal, and they'll foul him. The holding foul on Jermaine O'Neal, and that is the first team foul on the Hawks. It'll be the 3rd against Bibby. Jamario Moon with Beasley, O'Neal, Cook, and Wade. O'Neal challenging Pachulia will be called for the offensive foul.
Good job that time by Pachulia, moving his feet, getting in front of O'Neal. O'Neal made up his mind he was going to beat him baseline, dribbling with his left hand. You see the arm come out, contact, good call that time. Pachulia picks up the offensive foul.
And Pachulia goes out of the game, and Josh Smith will go back in. So 6 players in double figures for the Hawks as they had it in game 1. Here is Flip Murray for 3. And the Heat rebounds with Moon.
Remember what Eric Spoelstra said. He said, let's win the rebound battle. That'll be the key, one of the 2 keys down the stretch.
And we'll have another Atlanta foul, so each team will have 2 team fouls with just under 7 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. That'll be the 4th on Horford. So Horford and Joe Johnson each with 4. Jermaine O'Neal has 4 for the Heat. Here's Cook for 3. And the rebound by Smith. Pushing it up is Bibby. Wade guarding Johnson. And here is Bibby. So Bibby misses a 3, and he has hit 4 on the night.
It's the right pass. The guy's been hitting him all night. He had too much time that time. He kind of turned the ball, got the laces straight, and then shot it.
Critical time here as the Hawks trying to get it into single digits. Heat want to keep it into double digits, and the offensive foul on Dwayne Wade, and that'll be number 4 on Wade.
Wade couldn't decide whether he should pull up short and shoot that baseline jump shot for about 8 feet or continue to go to the basket. He saw Bibby in front of him, couldn't make his mind up, gets his man off his feet. Now right here, do I pull up or keep going straight ahead? He thought he could draw the contact and it would be called a block.
So back-to-back offensive fouls, 1 on O'Neal, this one on Wade. And once again, the Hawks trying to get it into single digits. Crowd is in full throat now. Here is Josh Smith. Loose ball, Bibby. Saves it, 5 on the shot clock. Johnson shooting over Moon, hits. Down to 7. 3-point field goal. Wade can't answer with the 3. And here come the Hawks again. Murray blocked by O'Neal. And a great defensive play by O'Neal, his 3rd block of the game.
Huge defensive play that time. That'll make Alonzo Mourning proud. He saved the layup. The crowd was really into the thing. Can you imagine if they would have cut it back to 5 at that point?
And Jermaine O'Neal is fouled inside. That'll be the 3rd team foul against the Atlanta Hawks. And that'll be against Josh Smith. Timeout.
Well, if there's a guy that's going to make a big shot for his team, Joe Johnson certainly is not afraid to take him. The big 3, and now the huge defensive play by Jermaine O'Neal, stopping what looked like a sure layup.
Back here in Atlanta, and what an exciting 4th quarter we've had. 93-86, the Heat still leading, Atlanta on the charge. Let's revisit the game strategy you pointed out at the top, Mike.
Well, we said in mapping out their game plan for tonight, if they could bring their turnovers down, they had 19 in game 1, just 13 right now, only 86 points. They want a low 90 game for them to win. Wade has to get 30, we said. He's got 30 right now.
Jermaine O'Neal on the free throw line. The Hawks with 3 team fouls, and the Heat have 2. Dwayne Wade sitting on 30 points and 5 3-pointers tonight. One of 4 in double figures for Miami. The Hawks starters are in double figures once again. And Murray has 12 off the bench. 1 out of 2 for Dwayne Wade. The lead is 8. Johnson guarded by Moon. Double team. Bibby, fall away. Hawks have it, and the follow-up by Murray, good. And the foul.
Dick, you remember we talked before about those balls that wind up bouncing on the floor and who gets to them first? Well, this could wind up being 3 big points as a result of the ball missing, tipped back out by Josh Smith. Who gets there first? Flip Murray. The foul against him. Ball's good in the basket. Now a chance for a 3-point play.
And the foul is against Dwayne Wade, who's committed his 5th foul. One more and he's out. So that is a huge play as Wade now sits down with just under 5 minutes remaining. So the Heat are going to have to protect the lead without their big star. And the momentum in the hands of Atlanta, down by 5.
Maybe you play through O'Neal, Jermaine O'Neal. Get the ball in his hands down the low post. See if they come and double him. That'll get you 3-point shooters open. If they do, O'Neal's got to get to the foul line.
Here's Haslem. Big basket. Udonis Haslem. 7-point advantage. 4.5 to play.
What a huge shot. And that's his favorite spot, that 16, 17-foot baseline jump shot. That one and the corner elbow.
Murray's been a big factor. Here's Smith on the pick and roll. And is now down to 5 again. 17 for Smith. And the question is, when will Dwayne Wade come back into the game? On the bench with 5 personals.
The score will dictate how long Spoelstra can keep him there. And he walking right now back up to the table as Haslem again hits 2 huge jump shots. Wade's cheering on the side, waiting for the clock to stop so he can get in.
Started every game on the 06 title tear for the Miami Heat. So it's a 7-point game. Joe Johnson in traffic, and he's fouled with 3:40 to go. And that will be the 4th team foul against the Miami Heat. One more and they're in the penalty.
Haslem was just 2 for 5 up to that point when he hits the baseline jumper to make his 3rd field goal, and then comes right back again and hits the next jump shot straight on. We said his 2 favorite spots, baseline 18-footer or that elbow area up by the foul line.
Johnson misses the first. National coverage of NBA playoffs continue Thursday on NBA TV. San Antonio, Dallas, Friday on ESPN. Cleveland, Detroit, Portland, Houston, Game 3. Sunday on ABC, Game 4s, Boston, Chicago, Cleveland, and Detroit. And the Hawks have missed 11 free throws, but they get another chance. Joe Johnson inside, misses a 3-point play. Looked like he was inside the line. Doesn't matter. And a 7-point lead for Miami. 3.5 to play. Dwayne Wade back in the game, playing with 5. 10 on the clock. Wade defended by Johnson. Haslem. They won't let him get the shot off. Here is Moon going in and is fouled with 1 second on the shot clock.
Moon is so lucky because he made the move down the lane. He got up in the air and then went, oh, now what do I do from here? Lucky that the contact took place right there with the body of Horford. The whistle goes off, as you mentioned, just 1 second remaining on the 24-second clock.
And for Mike Woodson, Al Horford now has 5 personal fouls. Moon way off the mark on the first free throw. And there are no fouls to give in this game anymore. Each team has 4 team fouls.
Moon, an 85% free throw shooter.
And misses them both. 2 costly misses by the Heat. And there is Murray trying to change direction. And Udonis Haslem underneath. So it's still a 7-point game. Tell you, the Heat interior defense rising to the occasion tonight. Under 3 minutes remaining. Wade guarded by Johnson. Great duel out here. 3 on the shot clock. Wade will fire off balance. And his backside. The bank shot by Dwayne Wade. It was a desperation shot by Wade.
What a great defensive job by Joe Johnson. Wade was looking at the shot clock the entire time. He knew he had to at least get it up on the glass to give his team a chance to come up with a second shot, and banks it in.
33 points for Dwayne Wade, his 6th three-pointer.
He sees the shot clock. He lets it go with 1 on the 24-second clock. Last 3-point call by Danny Crawford.
Time for tonight's U.S. Army Strong Performance of the Night.
Well, most of Dwayne Wade's field goals tonight have been jump shots, and we see him hit them from an assortment of ranges. This is the 10th one that he makes, and number 11, the most spectacular one, with the shot clock running out. Off the glass for Dwayne Wade, a three-pointer.
So log on to NBA.com to see more strong performances. Joe Johnson working against Moon. And Haslam, who has hit 2 timely jumpers since the Hawks came back to 5, gets the rebound.
Great help defense that time by Jermaine O'Neal. He came from behind Moon to challenge that shot by Johnson.
So the new team record for the Miami Heat with 14 threes tonight. Here's Cook, fall away. Haslam getting the offensive rebound. Udonis Haslam coming up big here in the late stages of this game with under 2 minutes to play in the fourth.
You've really seen some great pursuit of the basketball by Udonis Haslam. He has a nose to the ball. He has the toughness to be a good rebounder. The steal.
Turnover. Joe Johnson and the Hawks throw the ball away. And an opportunity to cut it down from double digits, giving the Miami Heat another opportunity here. Turnover by Josh Smith, trying to get it to Joe Johnson.
Remember, Dick, you work all season to wind up with home court advantage in the playoffs, but it's not easy to keep that advantage, as a number of teams already know in this first round, where the visiting team has come in and taken one game.
Wade fires over to Daquan Cook, who hits the basket. It is a three-pointer and a timeout call. So Daquan Cook has 6. Dwayne Wade has 6 from downtown. And with 1:19 to go in the fourth quarter, Mike Woodson calls a timeout. And the Miami Heat leading now by 13, 104-91. And when we come back from a quick break, it will be Charles Schwab, time to talk. And now it's time to talk, presented by Charles Schwab. What was very impressive, Dwayne Wade didn't sit for long, but I think Haslam made a couple of big shots and the Heat held their ground before there was a 5-point deficit and the Hawks were on the charge.
Well, Wade coming back in gives Miami a presence on the floor. That last pass of his, he was trying to just draw the foul. When he got the defender up in the air, got him to fly by, he then made a pass on his way back down, which led to another 3-point basket. Just a great play.
And Mike, if the Heat hold on to their lead, what does that set up for Game 3 on Saturday?
Well, first of all, it's going to be a wild crowd in Miami's building down there. They have worked so hard, Atlanta, during the course of the season, 47 wins to get home court advantage, finishing 4th. And now all of a sudden, you come back after a great first performance, and you don't have the same kind of night. And I'm not so sure that it was Atlanta playing poorly or the fact that Miami played so well tonight and made so many huge shots.
Murray will inbound with 1:19 to go. Bibby firing up, missing the 3, and Moon the rebound. For the first time in NBA playoff history, 2 teammates have hit 6 threes in the same game. So we've had a Heat record for playoff threes, and we've had an NBA record.
You know what Eric Spoelstra has done tonight? A great job of pressing the right buttons. Each guy that he put in at a certain time made a contribution. We see Jermaine O'Neal hit the baseline jumper, whether it was Moon coming in with the hustle plays, Beasley with the scoring opportunities, McGlure with his defensive presence on the glass. Everything went the right way.
Johnson comes back with a basket. And you remember he told us today, Jermaine O'Neal with 19, we're definitely going to make a concerted effort to get him involved. And did they ever?
Oh, by the way, another pretty good move by Spoelstra, letting Daquan Cook get a few shots up here today.
Haslam coming back with the field goal. And there you see Eric Spoelstra wearing the CD pin for Chuck Daly, who is battling cancer and in the hearts and minds of all of the coaches and all of us during these playoffs. Final seconds will be ticked off, and the Miami Heat have responded after losing by 26 points on Sunday night and have withstood everything the Atlanta Hawks threw at them and come out a winner 108-93. Dwayne Wade, what a comeback for him with 33 points and 6 threes. Cook with 20 points, also 6 3-point baskets. And Mike Bibby leading the Hawks with 18. So let's take a look at our series schedule, as this series is all even at 1-1. Hawks winning Sunday 90-64, and tonight's victory 108-93. Games 3 and 4 will be Saturday and Monday in Miami on TNT. And right now, let's send it over to Cheryl Miller, who's with the man of the hour for Miami, Dwayne Wade.
Dwayne, I don't even know where to start with this one. First of all, did you call the bank and did you think you were fouled? Because you looked at the official like, you know, that should have been a 4-point play.
No, I didn't think I was fouled. I was mad at myself for, not getting enough space and letting Joe get up in me like that. So I had to pull something out of my butt, and I was able to hit it. When you hit a shot like that, that's game.
Now you picked up your 5th under 5 minutes. Talk about Udonis. He had 2 big shots and a couple key rebounds.
Well, Udonis is he's one of our main guys. He's the heart and soul of this team, and him going out and with the stitches in his hand at the end of the regular season and now getting his rhythm back, we love him back. And him and Michael at the 4 is something special for us. So this is going to be a tough series. We're going to have to keep grinding, but we got 2 guys like Udonis, Big Cat, guys like that that's going to get in there, going to rough it up, and make it tough for them.
So many good things happen for you guys tonight. Talk about your bench and Jermaine O'Neal.
Yeah, total team effort. Jermaine was a guy who told us, in practice the last couple of days, give me the ball. I want to be able to make things happen for this team, and Coach came out right away and he got the ball, and he did a great job offensively and passing out of the post. And if we can get that production out of him every night, it's going to be a long series.
All right, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Dick?
All right, Cheryl, thank you very much. Good job, and almost a 180-degree change from the Miami Heat from Game 1 to now. And that'll do it from here. Our final score tonight, the Miami Heat 108, the Atlanta Hawks 93. Coming up next, the Hornets and the Nuggets. Our thanks to Marty Aronoff, our statistician. So for Mike Fratello, Cheryl Miller, and the rest of the crew, Dick Stockton saying goodnight from Atlanta. You've been watching the NBA on TNT, exclusive home of the 2009 Eastern Conference Finals. And after a quick break, we'll send it to Ernie Johnson. So long, everybody.